Hello and welcome to the Kindred Coven. My name is Callista.
And my name is Jacob.
So, recently we watched The Backrooms, and I watched it for the first time recently. Jacob saw it in theaters. I wasn't lucky enough to do that because, I just didn't get around to it.
But yeah, I knew I had to show it to her because I knew she would love it. And here we are to talk about it.
Yeah, I will say I was a bit nervous going into it because I think The Backrooms is really cool. And it's just one of those like little internet creepy pastas that I've always kind of been fascinated by, and I feel like a lot of people just like get it wrong. To me, like the idea of being alone and like not knowing whether you're actually alone or not is a lot more scarier than just like monsters everywhere chasing you and all that stuff. Um, but I was pleasantly surprised. I knew it was Kane Parsons doing it, who did like the original like Backrooms web series. So I was kind of like pretty hopeful about it. But yeah, it was good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, for me, I have never really been into the Backrooms lore. I guess it's a concept that I've known about for a long time, of course, from being on the internet for since forever. But I was very surprised by this movie because, like I said, I didn't know any of the lore going into it, but I really do think going into this movie with any expectations of lore is not just not doing yourself a great service. I think that's the wrong way to look at it.
Right.
This is very much a movie that you have to view on its own terms.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people just go into this expecting like some huge reveals, and that's just like kind of the unfortunate thing that happens with a lot of internet horror. I think people like there's stuff like Five Nights at Freddy's, where it's like, oh, we're gonna introduce these little bits of lore here and there, and everyone just constantly expecting like this deeper lore to everything. When I think just like not, the background just, it's there, it's a thing. You don't need to know everything about it. In fact, it's better if you don't know everything about it. Like,
Yeah, this movie gives you all the information that you need, and there's really not much else that could be added to it. Like I know they've announced a sequel already, but I don't even know if that will add anything to the original because I actually like this movie quite a bit.
yeah, I was a bit surprised they announced a sequel right away. I'm not surprised that Kane Parsons is doing more stuff with the backrooms. Like, I fully expected him to do more, like, for the web series or something, but I am really curious to see what they'll do with the sequel, if it's going to follow the same, the therapist character, forgot her name, um, or if it's going to
Mary.
marry, or if it's just going to be new characters or something.
Yeah, so I guess spoiler warning if that matters to you, but so at the end of this movie, or I guess so throughout the movie, as we learn, the Backrooms is essentially a living entity that is beginning to misremember the real world. And so at the end of the movie, it shows a its version of Mary trapped in the backrooms.
Yep, and then Mary herself was with, like, the async people.
Yeah,
Which I guess will be, like, my one singular complaint about this movie is that I'm all for an open ended ending. I just think the thing with Mary and Async was just like a bit like too open ended. Like, I feel like we should have just had a little bit more of what was going to happen there. Because the conversation just kind of cut out and it cut to the ending, and I was like, okay.
I think that the async stuff that it's just barely there at the end, but I don't even know if they needed to add more because it serves its purpose within the story. We learn that they used to do MRI machines, and then they found out about the back rooms, and they devoted all of their resources to researching the back rooms. And it kind of parallels Clark's story in a way because he does the exact same thing. And we saw what happened to him when he devoted himself entirely to the back rooms.
Yeah, true.
But what I really want to talk about with this movie is an interpretation that I had, that I saw many other people had, and that's about that. I think this movie is about AI and AI generated artwork, especially. And I got that feeling, especially in the dining room scene, where just once you get a clear look at the still lifes, they very clearly look like that kind of early AI generated artwork, especially of people, and it just doesn't look like real living people.
Yeah, and to me that I didn't think about that while watching it, but as soon as you mentioned to me after we finished it just kind of immediately clicked in my head. Like, okay, yeah, that makes so much sense. Because, like you said, they looked obviously they weren't AI generated, but if they did look like that early AI look when people were messing around with like it was like called Dali or something, and it's like it looks just so weird, like in blobby.
Yeah, and especially after the movie came out and seeing Kane Parsons' own statements about AI and how against it he is, it just really, really clicks with me because you can think of the Backrooms itself as this AI machine, and the way it remembers everything is just the same way as an AI producing AI works. And that's why everything gets misremembered.
Yeah, and I guess it's really disappointing that he makes this very, I guess, anti AI movie for A24, and then like a month later, they're just like, oh, we're gonna start using AI and stuff, and it's just so dumb.
Yeah, I know. I've seen that he is going to completely refuse that stuff for the sequel, which I'm very happy for.
Good. It's too bad he can't like switch to a different studio or anything, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing is so with the Async, the company, you can also view them um, as a company that does other stuff, and then they discover AI and they completely shift to AI focused stuff, which we've seen in the real world all over the place.
Yeah, it's really just it's disappointing seeing how the world is becoming so, I guess, AI focused. Like, and most people don't seem to care that much. Like, obviously online there's a lot of people that are against it. You go out in person, there's so many people. There's like, oh, I used chat today to write me an email, or I asked it for a deadlock advice, or whatever, or
Yeah,
how to play
it's
this
so
a video game
disappointing.
better. And then like it's just so lame. But yeah, I guess to me it was just really awesome to see such an anti um, AI movie that coming out right now. I know there's another one that has theatrical release early this year. I can't remember its name. Good luck, have fun, don't die.
Yeah, that
I
one.
know that's also a very anti AI movie. We haven't watched that one yet. I've been wanting to though because same guy that did Pirates of the Caribbean, and Pirates of the Caribbean's great. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Backrooms is great. I don't think we have that much else to talk about, but
Yeah, I just think it was so cool seeing just internet humor, but with Oscar caliber actors. I love that so much.
I think another thing I really enjoyed about it was that it was actually kind of scary. You know, I'm someone that consumes a lot of horror media, whether it's books or movies or games or TV shows. It's one of my favorite genres, and it's gotten to the point where I don't get scared very easily, but there was a few moments in this where I was a little bit creeped out. And that was nice. I liked being scared for the first time in a while from a movie.
Yeah, I don't really get scared that much either by horror movies because I watch so many.
Mm-hmm.
But I was definitely creeped out by this in the theater.
Yeah, I wish I was able to go see it in theaters. And we're also very excited to see that the extra 15 minutes, which unfortunately aren't coming out this week, even though they were supposed to. This week, as of recording this, I'm not sure when this is going up.
Yeah, we'll have
Anyways,
to watch that as soon as it's available.
yeah, maybe we'll do another video about that if it changes anything we've said in this one. All right. Well, with that, I suppose we should wrap this video up. Thank you all so
Yep.
much for watching.
Thank you. Goodbye.
We'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.